Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Wednesday edition of the English newscast on Info Television. We kickstart with our headlines. The Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, accompanied by the regional delegate of the Centre Region, Mireille Marie-Laure Owona, carried out a walking visit to selected secondary schools in Yaoundé this January 7, 2026. And the Telecommunications Regulatory Board has strengthened its oversight of mobile network services with acquisition of new quality of services monitoring platforms. All of these shall be discussed in the course of this newscast. Welcome back. And as you heard in one of our lead stories, the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, accompanied by the regional delegate for the Centre Region, Mireille Marie-Laure Owona, carried out a working visit to some selected secondary schools in the city of Yaoundé this January 7, 2026. The tour aimed at assessing the effective resumption of the second term, identifying the challenges faced by schools. Details with you, Jessica Ndiwu.
As the second phase of the second term gets underway, the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, accompanied by the regional delegate of the Centre, Mireille Marie-Laure Owona, and the Secretary of State to the Minister of Secondary Education in charge of teacher training, Boniface Bayaola, carried out a walking tour of selected secondary schools aimed at assessing the effective resumption of classes, evaluating the learning environment and outcomes, and identifying challenges faced by schools. Institutions visited included Government High School Leclerc and Government Bilingual Technical High School Sam. The tour concluded with a final working session at the Distance Learning Center, where they examined challenges linked to the growing secondary school population of over 6,000 plus students. The minister urged collaborators to make responsible, result-driven decisions, called on parents to be considerate during enrollment, and emphasized the importance of maintaining academic standards and quality assurance.
I'm calling upon all my collaborators to make sure that we all work on how to contend with this particular difficulty. Our decision to be excellent and to have excellent results.
The session also focused on using technology for student monitoring, pedagogical follow-up, and digital skills development, with biometric kits distributed to selected teachers to enhance teaching efficiency and promote academic excellence.
We have 5 of them. We have Campus, Express Union, MTN Cameroun, Orange Cameroun, and Afriland First Bank. So when the student pay through those operators, the operators send the information to the platform within 48 hours. Then the principal, the bossa, and the ministry can see how is the information to the platform.
It's going to help us a lot to control assiduity and punctuality. You know, with this biometric presence, teachers will be more alert, more aware, and more conscious of the fact that they have to be in class, and they'll follow up their lessons properly.
Despite the challenges encountered, they can be addressed through the following measures.
You must follow to be sure that after 48 hours, if the receipt is not on the platform, you must send a request. The main measure is to pay through the official platform of the operator. You must identify the operator and pay through his official.
The visit highlights government efforts to ensure effective second-term resumption, monitor learning outcomes, and address challenges in secondary schools while strengthening quality assurance through digital and biometric tools.
And we take you to the Jah and Lobo Division, where the Sang-Melima Reference Hospital inaugurated its hemodialysis center on January 6, 2026, which will facilitate access care for people suffering from kidney diseases. Mimi Tiobo completes the rest of that story.
The Center of Hemodialysis at the Sameli Mary Friends Hospital was inaugurated on January 6, 2026 by the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malashi. The ceremony was attended by administrative authorities led by the Governor of the South, Felix Ngelengele. Because in reality, they are already tested and travel from distance to distance to find the care is double pain. This center mainly aims to reduce the cost of treatment, improve survivors and ease the burden on municipal centers and facilitate access to quality care for patients. In Cameroon, 10 to 14% of the population is affected by kidney disease, with the annual cost of treatment varying between 600,000 and 800,000 per year. And so today, with 15,000 francs all year round, you have your dialysis session without any disturbance or anything at all. And so I think it is within the reach of our compatriots. However, since 2023, the initiative for universal health coverage led by the President of the Republic has considerably reduced cost. The new Hemodialysis Center at the Sameli Mary Friends Hospital will certainly provide care for both patients from Jan Lobo and those from other regions.
And in education, some teachers and students have been sanctioned by the Office du Baccalauréat after being charged of being involved in exam malpractices in the 2025 official examinations. This was during an administrative council where more than 250 persons were sanctioned. The facts are presented in the following report.
The administrative establishment in Cameroon responsible for organizing secondary school examinations in the French subsystem of education known as Office du Baccalauréat has leveled sanctions on more than 250 persons for fraudulent acts in examinations. According to the Cameroon Tribune newspaper, both teachers and students are included in the sanction passed on by the Minister of Secondary Education. 47 teachers and 208 students were hit hard after being found guilty of fraud during the 2025 sessions of the probatoire and the baccalaureate examinations. Amongst the sanctions levied on teachers is a 3-year suspension from the organization of exams. Meanwhile, the accused students have been suspended from the official exams for a period of 1 year and the previous exam cancelled. This stern move from the Minister of Secondary Education is a proof that seriousness during official exams in Cameroon is non-negotiable and must be applied.
And still in the same light, Cameroon has taken a zero-tolerance stance against examination malpractices as more than 40 teachers and about 200 students have been suspended for 3 years following cheating scandal in Office du Baccalauréat examinations. And with the view of citizens, Mimi Chobo throws more light.
A 3-year suspension has been imposed on more than 40 teachers and about 200 students who sat for various examinations organized by the Cameroon General Certificate of Education Board in 2025. The individuals were accused of cheating in examination halls.
Ils auraient même dû faire ça depuis.
They should have done it a long time ago, but as parents, we notice that all the exam papers come from the OBC, so they should try their best to prevent leaks and let the children study normally and take the exam. So it's good initiative they have taken.
C'est une bonne initiative qu'ils ont prise.
Other students were suspended for allegedly engaging in examination frauds through WhatsApp and Telegram groups, where examination papers reportedly circulated several days before the start of the exams.
Je pense que ce problème de fraude.
This problem of cheating, we shouldn't get our children used to cheating. It's about meritocracy, and also I think that the easy way doesn't pay much.
La voie facile ne paie pas beaucoup.
According to sources, some candidates were caught in examination rooms with complete course notes and formulas written on the inner sides of their school uniforms.
Thank you for the minister for helping us and putting measurement so that people should not be teaching. If there was something, if they could help us again to make other rules so that people cannot cheat will be good for the development of Cameroon.
These disciplinary measures has affected several secondary schools across the national territory and serve as a call to action and a strong warning to others ahead of upcoming examinations.
Away from that, the oath-taking ceremony of the newly elected president of the Adamawa Regional Council held on January 6, 2026. The events brought together administrative authorities and others. Details in this report.
This January 6, 2026, the Court of Appeal of Adamawa hosted the oath-taking ceremony of Aliu Issa, the newly elected president of the Regional Council. Presided over by Roger Kamchum, the event gathered the Attorney General, administrative authorities and traditional leaders. Governor Kildaji Tagege Bukar then conducted the handover ceremony at the Regional Council's headquarters, presenting the symbolic sash and insignia to Aliu Issa. In his speech, he emphasized the importance of good governance and collaboration with decentralized services.
Installed the new executive of Regional Council of Adamawa, and I think in my speech I've called on the new president to do everything possible to develop the nation. We have to use the competence in order to address the different difficulties we have. We have difficulties of education, we have difficulties of insecurity, we have difficulties of economy. We know that the new president should fight against inflation.
Aliu Issa pledged to work towards social cohesion and to manage public resources responsibly. With a solid professional background, he is also a father of 6. This investiture marks a turning point for Adamawa, with initiative expected to improve the daily lives of citizens. Stay tuned for updates on developments under Aliu Issa's leadership.
And the Telecommunications Regulatory Board has strengthened its oversight of the mobile network services with the acquisition of new quality services monitoring platform. These platforms aim at improving the services delivery and preparing Cameroon for future 5G network. Phillips Enchi throws more light.
With the growing demand for high-quality mobile network services, the Telecommunication Regulatory Board, TRB, in partnership with the Cameroon Digital Transformation Acceleration Project, PATNUC, received 2 quality of service monitoring platforms at the Planetarium Building in Yaoundé on January 6, 2026. The handover ceremony unfolds under the watchful eyes of the Minister of Posts and Telecommunications, Minette Libong Lilikeng, accompanied by the Managing Director of the Telecommunication Regulatory Board, Professor Philemon Zozam. The new equipment is expected to assess the technical quality and baseline of network services, suppress data abuses, and lay the groundwork for the future launch of 5G networks.
At TRB IRT, we will now have tools to effectively monitoring on real time the quality of service offered by the different operators. And you know that as today we are involved deeply in the digital transformation, we are using more and more tools, technologies, and it was not easy for the regulator to monitor without high-tech equipment. And today those 2 platforms will help and reinforce the capacities of TRB now on real time to give the real picture of what is going on or wrong.
The Telecommunications Regulatory Board is now equipped with modern tools to monitor the smooth functioning of network operators across the country.
This is very important because the competition now, there will no more doubt about what TRB will say they fail on it, and they will be obliged to correct and to be on the top. It's good to have a performant regulator, and it's what happened today. No more TRB will not be as before. If this operator is not performant, you will have information about what is wrong, and you have a choice to move from one to another. So it's very important for us today on the accelerating of the digital transformation.
The TRB is aware of the importance of this advanced technology and is committed to using it judiciously.
Je tiens à vous rassurer, Madame le Ministre, que nous mesurons...
Madame the Minister, I want to reassure you that we are going to use this equipment judiciously. On behalf of TRB, I want to reassure you that this platform is going to be deployed with diligence so that operators can respect their obligation, so that the people can benefit from quality digital services.
Puissent bénéficier d'une expérience numérique de bonne qualité.
As Cameroon steps up its digital transformation efforts, the Telecommunication Regulatory Board, alongside partners, is aware of its responsibilities and continue to work tirelessly in providing a conducive digital atmosphere for users.
And on to this press release coming from the Presidency of the Republic, which reads, press release. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, will be receiving the 2026 New Year wishes of members of the Diplomatic Corps and national dignitaries on Thursday, 8th of January 2026 at the Unity Palace. Signed, Samuel Mvondo Ayolo, Minister Director of the Civil Cabinet. And the program goes as follows. State protocol. Presentation ceremony of New Year 2026 wishes to the head of state. Diplomatic Corps. Time 1:45 p.m. to 2:25 p.m. Arrival and installation of members of the Diplomatic Corps at the Unity Palace, that's ambassadors, high commissioners, chargés d'affaires, and representative of international organizations. 2:30 p.m. End of installation of members of the Diplomatic Corps. 3 p.m. Presentation of wishes of the Diplomatic Corps to His Excellency, the President of the Republic. By 3:50 p.m. End of ceremony. Attire, men, tailcoat or dark suit or traditional ceremonial. Ladies, skirt suit, formal dress or traditional ceremonial. Nota bene, decorations should be worn. Mobile phones are not allowed within the premises of the Unity Palace. National dignitaries, 1:45 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. Arrival and installation at Unity Palace of national dignitaries. 3:30 p.m. End of installation of national dignitaries. 4 p.m. Presentation of wishes of national dignitaries to His Excellency the President of the Republic. 4:45 p.m. End of ceremony. Attire, civilians, men, dark suit or traditional ceremonial. Ladies, skirt suit, formal dress or traditional ceremonial. Constitutional Council, ceremonial outfit. Supreme Court, ceremonial outfit. Military, ceremonial outfit. Clergy, ceremonial outfit. Nota bene, decorations should be worn. Mobile phones are not allowed within the premises of the Unity Palace. And now we take you to this other information, as overcrowding in taxis is becoming a persistent issue in major towns of Cameroon, as both taxi drivers and bike riders have taken it as a norm. Why do passengers permit overloading or get into already crowded cars? Different views were gotten in the city of Yaoundé and compiled in this report.
With the known risks that come with overloading on motorbikes and taxis, this phenomenon is still very common and visible on roads. Some taxi and bikes go as far as taking more than the required number of passengers on board. According to some citizens, the high price of fuel is a cause. I think if the government puts in measures to make sure the price of fuel reduces, taxi drivers will not allow people to get overloaded in their cars. And if they are bent on accepting crowd in taxis, it is because things are hard. Others believe passengers need to propose higher prices in order not to get crowded. It depends on individuals. If you think you will not want to be crowded with others, then you have to pay well, or otherwise be ready to get overloaded. The fact that many persons have to displace themselves at the same time could be a reason for overloading passengers. I accept to get overloaded in taxis because I consider that everyone wants to arrive where they are going to. So I also understand others. And if I don't want that, I will need to spend more money, which I don't even have, so I have to accept. End of voiceover. Nevertheless, this persistence could be due to a driver-passenger behavior which may need intervention from authorities concerned.
And in sports, as the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations enters its knockout stage, 8 teams have booked their places in the quarterfinals following a dramatic and closely contested round in 16 matches across Morocco. Phillips Enchi in the following report brings out the tactical and technical ability of the teams.
As Africa's biggest football tournament proceeds to the quarter-final stage, the results from the teams already qualified for the showdown proves the continent's unexploited exceptional football talents, producing jaw-dropping performance as the Africa's Cup of Nations unfolds. The round of 16 marks the start of the knockout stage, where teams are obliged to grab a victory or grab a flight ticket back to their respective countries. Every match becomes a must-win game as the competition began to take its final shape. After an unpredictable group stage that gave hope to many teams, the last 16 matches decided who stays or leaves the tournament. 8 teams are blessed with a qualification ticket, notably Senegal, Mali, Morocco, Cameroon, Egypt, Nigeria, Algeria, and Cote d'Ivoire. Arriving at this stage of the tournament demanded a series of tactical and technical play styles unknown to some, with the objective of returning home with the trophy. Senegal, on its part, remained the first team to book a quarter-final ticket on Saturday. The former African champions proceed in the competition during an encounter with Sudan grabbing a victory against the Falcons of Jedian, proving once again that they are ranked amongst the most consistent teams in Africa. Next on the list is Mali, grabbing a ticket to the quarterfinals after defeating Tunisia on penalties despite disputing the position with just a 10-man squad. On Sunday, host Morocco joined the last 8 with a narrow 1-0 victory over Tanzania in Rabat. Supported by a loud home crowd, the Atlas Lion remained calm and patient, with Brahim Diaz scoring the winning goal. The victory rejuvenates the football strength of the Moroccan side, a performance that is now reassuring to them of an opportunity to grab the trophy for the second time in history. Cameroon, on its part, later sealed their place in the quarterfinals after a dramatic 2-1 victory over the Bafana of South Africa. The 5-time AFCON champions once again demonstrate their relentless effort and fighting spirit to maintain their position in the competition as the indomitable Lions of Cameroon continue with the battle. Though the team has been struggling over the years to revive and bring back the football euphoria cemented in the team by top African strikers like Roger Milla, Samuel Eto'o, Paga, Thomas Mkono, Ber Joseph Antoine and others, the team is ready to grab the trophy for the 6th time. Cameroon will now face host country Morocco in a highly anticipated quarterfinals, a match expected to enter the annals of history as the finals before the finals. Egypt, on its part, on Monday grabbed a 3-1 victory against Benin, with Mohamed Salah hitting the net with an unexpected shot. Nigeria also is progressing as on Monday, the 2025 AFCON quarterfinals will be played on Friday, January 9 and Saturday, January 10, 2026. As the tournament moves closer to the final on January 18, 2026, as the tournament moves closer to the finals on January 18 at the Prince Moulay Abdoulaye Stadium in Rabat, teams that are tactically and technically equipped are expected to grab a spot for the semi-finals.
The indomitable Lions continue to receive accolades and have received public confidence at the ongoing 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The impressive performance and a 2-1 win against South Africa reignite hope and celebration over the team's technical abilities. Phillips Enchi once more.
After years of complaints, disappointment and declining trust, the recent performance of the indomitable Lions at the ongoing African Cup of Nations AFCON in Morocco has restored confidence in the hearts of football fans. The team's impressive display has once again highlighted its dominance in the ongoing African Continental Football Jamboree. Cameroonians across the country have once again renewed their unwavering support for the team following a thrilling 2-1 victory over South Africa's Bafana, and a result that has sparked nationwide celebration. Since the start of the AFCON competition, the indomitable Lions have been coming up with lots of surprises. We were not expecting such level of tactical play style. As we speak, we have a team that is united, energetic, and they are always together and provides to us what we are expecting from them.